I am the president and CEO of the American Swedish Institute. I'm also honorary consul for Sweden for Minnesota and for other states. And we're going to get started in just a minute here, but first I wanted to introduce Junauda Petrus, Poet Laureate of Minneapolis. She is from the Phillips neighborhood, just right next to where we are. So I'm glad to be introducing her here from someplace so close to home. So can I please have a big round of applause for Junauda Petrus?
Oh, that's all. I was like, that's a tall step because that's steps. Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. Again, like was shared, I grew up in this neighborhood, and it means a lot to me to be from here, to be from Phillips, child of immigrants, and getting to be the Poet Laureate, which gets to be the poetic heart of our city. And I've completing my second year. I was just in Italy actually for a residency. I'm not flexing, it's a part of the story. And what was fascinating is being experienced as an American, which I'm always like, me an American, please no. But to be associated with being from Minneapolis is a real flex in the world right now. When you say Minneapolis, people see the resistance, people see the sweetness, people see the care in a way that, you know, truly, truly feels aligned with who I want to be and who I am. And as part of my experience of being Poet Laureate, again, and being, you know, this voice and this space to hold poetry in our city, I was volunteering at a local school and I actually got to meet Renee Good. And it was very serendipitous. Her and her wife, Becca, were volunteering for lunch and just helping out their little child's school. Their kid is like this squirrely and snuggly kid. And it wasn't, you know, until after she passed that I realized that she too was a poet. And it felt very important, even more so, to hold poetry as a way to metabolize and process all that we've been holding and going through in our community, not just, you know, obviously this last year, but for the last several years, resisting state violence. So I wrote this poem called South Side, Soft Side. They told me I had a minute and a half for a poem. This is not a minute and a half. Buckle in, just kidding. No, but it's like a poem that really like is inspired by all of the beautiful, loving, relational neighborhood magic that I saw that wasn't easy to do and didn't happen overnight. You know, we've been doing this work for years and years and years. So anyways, here we go. South Side, Soft Side. If it was up to them, the world would have no mamas, just mother wound. No dreams, just nightmares. No poetry, just profit. No passion, just power. No water, just drink the ache. Just exist, small, small. Just wait until heaven. Just be grateful. This plantation is your paradise. Be grateful. Every day feels like a 3-card Monte with the soul of the universe. Is it too much to ask to come to this planet and expect softness and stillness, to have a life centered around mundane, to move on divine timing, sensual clarity? You can't sleep because you're wondering if they will snatch you in the street or the way to the job, to your child's school. You can't sleep because you're wondering who is getting snatched in the night. Mothers have to trust the softest parts of their hearts in the coldest and hardest world. Sometimes the way to tend to that existential dread is to be soft places for other mothers' children. Queer people are magical at making mothers from everything, making temples of love in the heavy void. You know there's monsters everywhere. You trust that angels are everywhere too. You snuggle your child extra tight for all of those who can't hold their sweet babies in their arms. Mothers hand their babies off to other women to drive their kids to school so that when their kids return, home will be home. People are hiding in their houses, afraid for their face to see the sun, afraid that their brown and darkness make them seen and targeted and hunted. In this country, you get paid twice as much to take children away from their parents than you get to teach them how to read. This is not new wound. This is an old and well-recycled wound. Those that were hunting and those that were hiding and scared, and so many who resisted. Black women in shackles comforting other people's children in their bodies. Native children in boarding schools, mouths forced into white man's shapes, whisper and dream their true tongues. At Stillwater Prison, in a classroom of Black and brown and white men, Muslim, Christian, witchy men, brothers, comrades, a coven behind walls. I asked them what's a mystical creature they would be. My student, born in another land but now lives behind the bars of this country, says hummingbird. Flickering electric blue wing, he held out his hand to show how small, simple, and harmless their needs are. Whenever I see or think of a hummingbird, I know it's my Grandma Pearl visiting me, talking in flutters and giggles and Florida water, royal blue 7-day candles, calypso, stewed canned salmon, onions, garlic, swift hands. She doesn't speak American to me. She speaks to me Trini and languid. She speaks to me about other worlds, lands, and feelings, and how she travels everywhere now, how she belongs to the universe. South Side is the universe. South Side kids can have mullets, hijabs, beads, and fades. South Side kids can have parents who pray to every kind of divine understanding. South Side kids dance to old school music and under the wings of majestic puppets. And the sound of their footsteps shudder the asphalt beneath them. Under the cement and gravel and earth is wound, is a thing people stop talking about, is a thing that haunts and holds and freezes. South Side, we outside. South Side, we soft side. It's a small ask, but a certain one. To be held in a hug that doesn't feel like it will ever let you go, an embrace that allows you to melt away all ego and armor and be a vulnerable, human, supple thing. Thank you all so much. Oh, thank you. Thank y'all. That's us. That's us. That was us this winter. That's us. Thank y'all so much for that. Thank y'all for letting me share my poem that was more than a minute and a half. But now it is my honor to introduce Dr. Molly Steinson, who is the president and CEO of the American Swedish Institute. And she will offer welcoming remarks for this year's State of the City address. Dr. Steinson is a renowned local leader with a distinguished career in academia and research. Since taking the helm at ASI in 2023, she has furthered the Institute's impact as a treasured community asset, showcasing Swedish history exhibits while expanding community access to arts and cultural programming. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Steinson.
Hello, everybody, again. There we go. We're so honored that you chose to be here with us today at the American Swedish Institute. As we start, I'd first like you to join me in honoring the stewards of the land on which we all stand. I wish to acknowledge the Dakota peoples on whose land we meet and thank them for their ongoing care of the land and acknowledge their connections to this community and the richness of their culture. In this spirit and in recognition of the diversity of our neighborhood, we thank you for coming to the American Swedish Institute and joining us being in this gathering place for all people. ASI, the American Swedish Institute, was founded by a Swedish immigrant nearly a century ago as a gathering place that connects our community in Minneapolis to Sweden and beyond, sharing stories of migration, identity, and belonging. We understand that all tradition is change. Minneapolis and St. Paul aren't the same places that they were 100 years ago or even a few years ago, and we are here to build connections through Swedish and Swedish American arts and culture with our neighborhoods, city, and state, past, present, and future. We like to say that Sweden is for everyone, and there are many ways to be Swedish. The American Swedish Institute is proud to serve our Minneapolis community, and we do so in many ways. We have long and deep relationships with schools, including Bancroft, Whittier, Green Central, and Wellstone International School, and we've long partnered with Pica Head Start. We're connected with museums and arts organizations and cultural organizations, including recent collaborations with the Somali Museum of Minnesota and also All My Relations Arts. We strive to be a good neighbor, working together with organizations such as the Phillips West Neighborhood Organization and Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital. And we work with our elected officials and with the city to support our community. One of the ways we do this is by being a gathering place, and this is why we're so pleased that you're here. Now I'd like to introduce Mayor Jacob Frey. He's been a friend to ASI over the years, meeting Swedish visitors when they come and joining us here for celebrations with his family. Mayor Frey fell in love with Minneapolis while running the Twin Cities Marathon, and the day after graduating from law school, he drove cross-country to make Minneapolis his home. He practiced law, won the city's first annual Martin Luther King Jr. Award for his civil rights work, and served as a city council member for Ward 3 before being elected the 48th mayor of Minneapolis. Under his leadership, the city has led the nation in affordable housing policy. He pioneered the elimination of exclusionary zoning, setting a national example, and has led the city through crisis to improve safety, revitalize downtown, and drive economic growth through inclusive policies. Mayor Frey's commitment to change was further demonstrated in 2021 when voters approved an entirely new form of government, ensuring more effective, equitable, and efficient city services for everybody in the great city of Minneapolis. It is an honor and a pleasure to introduce Mayor Jacob Frey for the 2026 State of the City Address.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Bali, and to the American Swedish Institute for hosting us. Council President Payne, Council Vice President Jamal Osman, members of the City Council, elected officials, Lieutenant Governor, Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board Commissioners, Minneapolis Public School Directors, Sheriff, Board of Estimate and Taxation Commissioners, former mayors, Sarah Clark, community leaders, city staff, partners, neighbors, people who care so deeply about our city, its future, and then the people in it. This past year has tested Minneapolis. We saw moments from Operation Metro Surge to the tragedy at Annunciation that pushed us to our limit. Families torn apart. Workers and students staying home. Parents making different choices about how they move through their day. And through it all, Minneapolis showed something real: grit, endurance, and resolve. We showed the world what it means to be a good neighbor and to stand up for something far more powerful than resistance alone. We stood up for love. And so to this truly inspirational city of heroes, thank you for being a light in the darkness. Thank you for setting a foundation of unity that holds our country together. Guys, we got through it, but getting through it and getting back on track is something different. And today I want to be honest about where we are. Because before we talk about what's working, and there's a whole lot that's working, we also need to talk about what needs to change. The state of our city is strong, but if we don't get serious, our trajectory will not be. Serious about the work, serious about our priorities, and serious about working together to imagine and achieve the city that we all envision. Because when we lose focus on that vision and our respective responsibilities, even just a little, people ultimately feel it. So today is about getting back on track. It's about getting to work. It's about achieving this vision together and doing it with the seriousness that the people in our city expect. In doing that, there are several truths to recognize. First, we proved that we can endure. We got through an incredibly difficult period, and we did it the way Minneapolis always does. We showed up. Our community safety officers delivered groceries to families afraid to leave their homes. Our Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs and city attorneys established strategies so we could fight for our residents and our city in court and win. Our mobile medical unit was out in low-income neighborhoods bringing health care and support to hundreds of residents. Our city provided over $10 million in relief for small businesses and residents. Council members, thank you for your partnership and your work. And we kept doing the daily work of city government, plowing roads, fixing street lights, and responding to fires. This work matters. It says something about who we are. Council members, it says something about who you are. We have different roles, but we lead this city together. But at the same time, endurance is not the goal, it's the starting point. The second truth, our responsibility does not end when the crisis fades. We don't need a new emergency to stay focused. We don't need a new enemy to achieve a common dream. We handled what was in front of us, and now we've all got a job to do. Which brings me to the third and the most important truth. We need to do the basics better, and we need to take that responsibility seriously. For too long, we've allowed ourselves to get pulled away from that focus, not because the issues weren't important, but because we lost discipline around what matters most. We try to do everything, things that aren't always a local government's job, and in the process, we didn't always do the most important things well enough. We spent time debating things that are not the most critical parts of our job. And if you ask people what they want from their city, the answers are usually pretty simple. They want to feel safe walking down their street. They want clean air and safe water. They want to be able to afford their home. They want businesses to succeed, and that's the job. So here's what that looks like moving forward. Starting with public safety, because there is nothing more important or fundamental. People need to be safe, and they need to feel safe. That requires a comprehensive safety approach, which in turn requires a fully staffed, fully functioning police department that delivers. The good news, and this is new, is we've seen over a 200% increase in applications to become a Minneapolis Police Department officer since we began our push for recruitment. In 2023, we had 665 total applicants. In 2025, we had 2,328. That's a signal. People are stepping up. They're answering the call to serve this city. We're currently sitting at 642 officers, up from around 550, and next year we're hoping to reach our charter number of 733, with goals of exceeding that to reach more than 800 before I leave office. And we have the most diverse department we've ever had in our city's history. With more officers who either come from or live in Minneapolis. Now, staffing that police department and paying for it looks different. The cost of an officer today is higher than it was just a few years ago. We train more, we expect more, and yes, because of that, it also costs more. That's why our safety leaders are doing the work to put a dollar amount on what that investment needs to be, so we budget accordingly. Last year, violent crime went down in nearly every major category, from homicides to robberies to carjackings and auto theft. And as we head into the summer, safe streets will remain our top priority, and we will focus on proven strategies that work. We also take pride in how we respond in critical moments. When tragedy struck at Annunciation, our response was immediate and it was coordinated. because we underwent extensive emergency response training and preparation ahead of time. Our police officers entered the church without hesitation, directed children and teachers to safety, helped establish a triage area, and provided life-saving care to victims using their combat medic and paramedic experience. During Operation Metro Surge, the city stayed focused on supporting the people of Minneapolis, especially our immigrant neighbors. Our 911 teams were a calming voice on the end of distressed calls. During what would typically be a quieter month, they worked around the clock to help reunite families and provide important information. In the rest of our safety ecosystem, our departments are showing up. Our community safety ambassadors are out building relationships on East Lake and East Franklin, and soon we'll be in Uptown, walking the streets, providing a presence that has led to safer neighborhoods. And in our neighborhood safety department, we're addressing gun violence through group violence intervention by building stronger relationships with people most at risk. And we're seeing the results. 98% of participants have reported no new violent activity. Our fire department continues to save lives, not just by running into burning buildings, but through health initiatives. They've launched 3 Narcan vending machines and a second safe station. Narcan is being used and overdose deaths are down. And beyond our Office of Community Safety, our city departments are doing the basics to make our city safer. We've repaired more than 700 streetlights, and now our backlog is officially gone, making our streets brighter and safer. Thank you. By the way, that Burger King, that blighted Burger King on Broadway, say that 3 times fast, has been a focal point for narcotics. It's coming down, and it will make way for new community-based development. And also a cultural shift that is well overdue is afoot. There's probably not a city out there that's taking its training and reform work more seriously than in Minneapolis. People saw the difference between how ICE agents treated people and the way that Minneapolis police did. But that's a pretty low bar. So we're doubling down on our efforts to strengthen accountability under the consent decree, because our police department must be the department that people can trust. Thank you. And that brings us to a broader truth about safety in our city. You don't get safety without getting serious about the conditions that shape it. Over the past 8.5 years, I've seen a lot, and it's also changed how I think about order in a city. Nowhere is that shift clearer than at the intersection of addiction, of livability, of housing, and business. Take Uptown as the example. The perception of Uptown has been bad, but it's improving because of dedicated residents, of business owners, elected officials, and city staff willing to be blunt and honest about the real issues that are facing the community. Addiction is front and center. We address addiction by meeting people where they are, bringing care through our mobile medical unit, expanding low or no barrier housing for stability, increasing access to Brixadi, a long-acting treatment, and partnering with the county to connect more people to care. And at the same time, continued open use on our streets is devastating for residents, for families, and for businesses large and small. Compassion matters, but it doesn't mean that anything goes. The progress we're seeing in Uptown is proof positive of what happens when we double down on the services that residents expect. And I encourage you to go check out the difference that is already afoot. We're doing the following. People need to feel safe. So we've put a dedicated patrol unit in Uptown, keeping a regular and visible presence, stopping issues before they escalate, and addressing nuisance behavior head on. Streets need to be clean, so we're expanding trash and litter pickup, cleaning graffiti, and making sure grass and vegetation looks healthy. Storefronts shouldn't sit empty, so we're activating them through our Vibrant Storefronts program and technical business support. Customers need easy access, so starting now, we're announcing free Friday nights in Uptown, meaning that if you go to Uptown on a Friday, you can park for free. I see where you were going with that one. And our streets should feel alive. So we're supporting the Uptown Farmers Market, the Arts Festival, and holidays on Hennepin to bring energy, art, and people together. Our job as city government is also to help provide a right to a home. And if you want a stable city, you need affordable homes. That's why programs like Stable Homes, Stable Schools matter. They work. Through this program, we've helped keep more than 7,500 students and their families in their homes. That means fewer disruptions, fewer moves, and more kids showing up to school ready to learn. And we're seeing progress beyond the classroom, too. Right now, the number of unsheltered people in Hennepin County is down significantly compared to previous years. As of this week, 239 people in Hennepin County, not just Minneapolis, are actively working with outreach teams. Those 239 people are now connected, known, and on a path towards stability. That is an 11% reduction from 2025. That is a 20% reduction from 2024, and a much more significant reduction since 2020. That number still needs to come down more, but we're moving in the right direction. Our homeless response team is out every day, connecting with unhoused individuals and working closely with an ongoing partnership with Hennepin County. Thank you, commissioners, who helped move more than 3,400 people from emergency shelter to housing in 2025. Moving in the right direction also means continuing to build across every part of our city and at every level. This past year, we helped build and preserve 890 affordable homes, and we've got nearly 2,000 more in the pipeline that will start to come online this year. You can see that progress in projects like Snelling Yards, bringing 95 homes to Hiawatha on a former storage site, or at Opportunity Crossing in South Minneapolis, transforming a former Wells Fargo site into 6 stories of affordable housing with green features like solar and rainwater reuse. Minneapolis has indeed become a national leader in affordable housing. We've increased the annual production of deeply affordable housing more than 5 times, from 35 homes a year to 185 a year. That's something to celebrate. It requires partnerships with everybody from our city council, and thank you, to our governor and lieutenant governor. Thank you to our county commissioners. Thank you. But moving forward, we also need to look not just to how much we build, but where we build it. For too long, affordable housing has been concentrated in the same areas, limiting opportunity and reinforcing inequality. If we want real upward mobility, we need to build affordable housing in middle and upper income areas, not just the same places where we've built in the past. So let me tell you why this matters. This is a big reason why I ran for office to begin with. When kids grow up in mixed income neighborhoods, they see possibility. I don't want kids to think in terms of limitations. I want them to think in terms of potential. I want them to know the doctor. I want them to know the teacher, the carpenter, the artist. I want them to know all of these individuals on one block. I want kids from different levels of wealth to go to the same schools and play in the same parks together. I want kids to figure out whatever it is that they do best to benefit society the most. We're making progress on this vision. We've made nation-leading changes in eliminating exclusionary zoning and now require affordable housing units in all new market rate buildings. But we haven't finished the job. To keep that work going, we have to take a hard look at the reality of the housing market right now, and then what we can do to help. Costs are up, interest rates are high, and it's harder for families to buy, rent, or stay where they are. That's not acceptable, and we need to do our part to make it better. And so our goal is really straightforward. Make it easier to build, improve, and stay in our city. And this will be a main focus of mine over the next few years. I have directed city staff to evaluate our development process in whole, from start to finish, and identify where we can move faster, where we can cut unnecessary red tape, and give builders and homeowners clear and predictable paths forward. One example of many: accessory dwelling units are allowed in Minneapolis but aren't built that often. So we're streamlining the process by providing a number of pre-approved designs, dramatically cutting back on the time it'll take to bring grandma closer to home or get the 24-year-old further away from it. Non-familiar relationships use ADUs as well. We're also changing how we handle permits. Small-scale residential projects, the kind of improvements homeowners rely on, won't be treated the same as large developments. Our goal is to move these permits through the system within 1 business day. Within 1 business day of application, to be clear. So, people can get to work without waiting weeks just to get started. I've asked our performance management and innovation team to look at overhauling our permitting system. It may not sound glamorous, but it matters. To be clear, we are overhauling our permitting system. It means fewer hoops, less confusion, and a process that respects people's time. And fewer hoops means a faster transition to what's next. We're laser focused on the inevitable and exciting shift from office space to residential. Through our rocket docket approval, we're fast-tracking office-to-housing conversions, turning underutilized buildings into homes for people who want to live here. If you're a developer looking to do this, you'll get an administrative review, not a political one, drastically shorter wait times for approval, and potentially direct city support to get your project across the finish line. Just look at the success of the Groove Lofts, which are now officially opened, and historic office space was transformed into hundreds of new modern homes in the heart of our city. Just a few blocks away, the Grain Exchange is being converted into 232 housing units, most of them affordable, bringing new life to this corner of downtown. Because housing isn't just about shelter, it's about economic stability. When people can afford to live here, they stay. That stability strengthens everything else that we do as a city. And that's exactly what we're focused on, building an economy where businesses can start, they can stay, and grow. For too long, we've treated businesses like a revenue source instead of a partner. That's changing. Being serious means our job is to set the table, make it easier to open a business, easier to build, easier to stay, easier to grow. Just like with our housing work, this means taking a hard look at fees, permitting, and the back and forth with different city departments that slows progress down. That work is underway right now. Operation Metro Surge hit our small businesses hard. Hundreds of millions of dollars were lost. Through our city's Small Business Resiliency Fund, which we recently announced, we're providing license fee relief to over 2,000 residents, restaurants, cafes, and grocery stores. Council members, thank you for your work and your partnership. That's $1,800 they don't have to pay and a lot of paperwork they don't have to fill out. We're just doing it. We're also making it easier for organizations to host events. We're offering fee-free events so that businesses and community organizations can activate their spaces, host festivals, bring people back. Instead of paying $100 or $1,000 to host an event, you won't have to worry about that. Just do the event. It's free. And last week, we announced $1 million into grants through our Business District Support Program, putting resources directly into the hands of 34 community-based organizations in all 13 wards who are part of revitalizing our city. They're going to be hosting events, expanding marketing, and building energy in our commercial corridors. We're also bringing a renewed focus to providing a clear, galvanized vision for the future. COVID-19 expedited a necessary transition from full-time in-person work. But we can provide an expedited vision for the next phase of Minneapolis. The first part of that vision I've already mentioned, transitioning from office space to housing by combining our rocket docket, quick administrative review, and direct subsidy, we will bring these buildings to a new residential use and breathe new life into our streets. But that vision is not limited to residential. As a council member, we saw great success in North Loop and on East Hennepin, reducing the square footage of retail space, putting more doors and more businesses on the street. These are new bustling neighborhoods now packed with action. We have not yet emulated that success in the core of downtown, and so we need to jumpstart it. Among other tools, we are proposing a new use of TIF and other city partnerships. It's the right time because the value of many buildings has been lowered. With a lower basis, increased investment can go further, and the future valuation is higher. If you're willing to invest in a big vision for a building where the basis has been lowered, come talk to us. If you've got a gigantic retail space, for instance, on Nicollet Mall, and you want to change it to a bunch of smaller ones, come talk to us. TIF might be right for you. It might not. But partnership with the city will be a value add. All of this is driving a real shift downtown, but the most important change is already showing up in the numbers. Today, more than 60,000 people call downtown Minneapolis home, a record. Because a home doesn't look the same for everyone. It's not always a house with a big garage or a white picket fence. It's a downtown apartment overlooking the skyline where someone is making an omelet before work. It's kids playing on a playground just blocks from where their parents work, hopefully with an indoor option soon. It's where my mom and dad live, possibly yours too. It's people coming in droves to see the Minnesota Timberwolves crush the San Antonio Spurs. Because if there is something we're crystal clear on, it's that NBA basketball belongs in downtown Minneapolis, and we intend to keep it that way. Speaking of, today we have a very important deal to announce. Just kidding. That's our downtown. A place where people don't just work, they live. They're some of the most active, energetic, and Minneapolis-loving fans in the world. We want them and everyone else in our city to have fun. That's why we're also streamlining our permitting and internal processes to make it easier for events like Pride, Mode Festival, the Prince Sing-Along, and Dinner de Nord to succeed. You're also about to see big developments in big ways across our whole city, not just downtown. We've got several major projects that have been years in the making that are finally happening, some of them half a century in the making. In a month, we break ground at George Floyd Square, rebuilding infrastructure, supporting small businesses, and preserving what matters most to the community, including memorials and art. At the Southside Safety Center, design is complete and construction is moving forward, bringing critical resources like mental health support, childcare, and youth programming under one roof. On the north side, we literally just broke ground at the Upper Harbor Terminal Amphitheater yesterday, bringing a world-class venue to a much-deserved area and reconnecting the neighborhood to the river, to housing and jobs. And at the former Kmart site, the new Nicollet project is already underway, transforming that space into housing, green space, and safer streets. These projects take time, but the day-to-day, ongoing, deliberate work of leaders, of our community, of our city staff, will ultimately transform our city. And in just a few years, we'll be watching concerts on the riverfront, riding bikes down Nicollet, walking into the safety center. There'll be multiple services all under one roof. We all love to complain about construction, but when you start seeing those cranes go up, that means the city is moving forward. And that's a city doing its job. These are important investments. But even this work has to be grounded, focused, disciplined, because none of it matters if we don't get the basics right. Focusing on the fundamentals does not mean we stop caring about some of these other important issues. It means we lean in on partnerships and lead with the job that is in front of us, and we do it well. We prioritize the core responsibilities that people count on every day: safe streets, stable housing, a city that works. And we deliver on them, all while making sure that property taxes are kept in check, because people need to afford to live in our great city. Because when that foundation is strong, everything else that we care about has a chance to succeed. Right now, people across this country are asking a simple question: does government work? They're asking another question: does government work for them? This is where we answer it, not with rhetoric, but with results, by getting serious and doing the work our constituents expect. And yes, getting serious will mean having hard conversations heading into a budget about programs or investments that aren't working. It's time to let those go and focus on the services that residents depend on. I appreciate the applause now, because I guarantee that it'll get harder as we move into the budget, because we're going to need to make some tough decisions. And some things we're going to have to stop doing. Because if people can't afford to live here, if they can't afford to start their business here, if they're not willing to invest in this city, we won't have the money to do the things that we need to do. And that can't be the story of Minneapolis. Over the past year, we proved something. I'm going to take a step back. You all should take credit for what we did in the first part of this year. Every one of you stood up. Every one of you showed the country who we can be. Everybody showed what it meant to stand up for a great republic and the underpinnings of our democracy, and perhaps most importantly, our neighbors that we loved. You stood up when it mattered most. The whole city showed up. And now we need to continue showing up every day, because that's where trust is built. Not just in moments of crisis, but in moments of consistency that is ongoing. Doing a good job, getting the basics right day after day. Ultimately, this is about the future. The choices we make right now shape that future, and whether people stay, invest, and believe in our city. Minneapolis doesn't need to rediscover who we are. We know who we are. We're a city that shows up. And now we need to be a city that gets results. Serious about safety, serious about housing and growth, serious about getting the basics right. And if we do that consistently, relentlessly, we won't just get through the tough moments. We'll build a city that works. We'll be a great city rising, a city of heroes, an example for the rest of the country to follow. Everyone, that's our Minneapolis, and that is how we all move forward together. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.